All right. I think we're live across all social media platforms for Our Esquina. So let's start the show, guys.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey,
hey.
hey, hey.
What's
Welcome.
up, everybody? Welcome to La Bodega. Luis, what's good, bro?
What's good, Manny? Happy All-Star break.
Yeah, man.
We're
Best
halfway through the season.
rank the All-Star breaks. Like, what's the best All-Star break in any sport? From best to worst.
Uh, I would say worst is the
Pro
Pro
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah, hands down.
And I guess we're only going to focus on the three
Yeah,
sports,
yeah.
but then I would say NBA. Then I would say MLB has the best All-Star break. To me, it has the best All-Star feel. But even then, I feel like MLB still finds ways to make it odd and make it do certain things that I feel like were a little unnecessary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just my opinion on yesterday's home run derby. I don't know if you watched it.
So what do you think was unnecessary?
You want me to tell you what's one critique that I had of the home run derby?
Tell us, man.
Or you want me to tell you my two critiques?
All right, give me both critiques, man. Why not?
All right, first critique is you make the money ball half pink and you got about 50 pink shirted children running around in the background. I know these guys are professionals, but you know, there are strict rules of not having anything white, I guess, or on the pitcher, certain things that the pitcher can't wear. I know these guys are pros. I know they weren't throwing that hard. They probably picked up the ball as soon as the ball was released, but still, to make the money ball half pink and have people running around in the background with pink shirts, we know you're sponsored by T-Mobile, but I
Trying to
thought that
kill
was,
somebody.
yeah, I thought that was pretty unnecessary. And my second critique, Manny, is that I feel like in 2021 we have the technology to track baseball in real time,
Mm-hmm.
and the ESPN broadcast didn't have. I feel like there was nowhere on the screen displayed how far these balls were traveling until like I don't know how long after. I watched the Statcast version and they had like the launch angle
Yeah.
and the exit velocity off contact, but for some reason we couldn't get the distance the ball traveled or projected distance. And I feel like I've seen it in years past, but it wasn't there. So
And it's funny because I think the MLB app, if you use the MLB app to follow the home run derby, they did have a ball tracker. Like you could see the ball launch from the batter's box into wherever it landed in the stands. So if they
yeah,
had the technology for the app, then and I'm
and
not saying live. It was like like the MLB stream, like when you're not watching the actual game, you're watching like cartoon figures.
yeah.
It was one of those. So like if you could do it for that, you should
Well,
be able to.
so
Yeah.
on ESPN too, they had the Statcast version of the home
Right.
run derby, and I actually had to stop watching it because the broadcasting crew was so boring. I couldn't tell if something amazing was happening or something historic was happening.
Mhm.
So I had to go back to the regular ESPN broadcast, but the Statcast had the launch angle and the exit velocity in real time.
Yeah.
I think that's enough to give you a projected distance, knowing like the air coefficients and like resistance and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm not, and I'm telling you, I could remember seeing a home run derby and seeing how far a ball traveled after it was hit. Yeah, last night I felt like they were only doing it not for every home run, but if they were doing it, it was like 30 seconds after, maybe towards the end of the round, they'll let Juan Soto hit a 520-foot home run, which is amazing,
Yeah.
by the way.
But you didn't know it during the fact. And then
Yeah,
sometimes they wouldn't even cut to see where the ball landed or
yeah.
like the count wasn't accurate or something like I think it was who was it? Who was it? He had an opportunity, one more pitch and he took
Joey
forever.
Gallo.
Was it Joey Gallo?
Well, both Matt Olson and Joey Gallo hit like two home runs. They were in the air at the same time, and I think they were like going against the umpire that was there. I don't know if you saw, they would show the umpire every once in a while, like oh,
Yeah.
stop, and then like now you could pitch. But like
Yeah.
towards the end, they were just like just throw it.
Just playing it. Yeah, it felt very disorganized. And as in terms of the broadcast, I agree with you. And I think maybe that's a way to draw in more viewers. But wouldn't you get the same amount of viewers if you just had the StatCast graphics and all that stuff with the regular broadcast? Because I agree. I started watching the regular broadcast and I thought they were entertaining. Matt Vasgersian
Yeah,
and Eduardo Perez. Is that his name?
probably the guy that's always calling back to
his playing days,
to his Latino community.
Yes, my guy.
Yeah, that sounds.
So, and they were entertaining, but then when I went to the Statcast broadcast, I got more information, but it wasn't as entertaining.
It was so dull.
At the same time, in the regular broadcast, I feel like Salvador Perez was just completely ignored. And I think it was because Pete Alonso has such an amazing first round that it's like, how could you not talk about what Pete Alonso accomplished? And he looked unfazed almost. But then it's almost like they didn't mention that Salvador Perez had the second most home runs of that first round. Like he went on a tear, man.
Yeah, he put on a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the whole time I'm watching it, it didn't feel like they were, I don't know, beautifying the home run derby enough. I feel like I liked the way it looked in years past compared to this year. Sometimes I would look up and I wouldn't even know like what the total was or what was currently happening at that moment. I didn't know if it was a timeout. I didn't know if it was like the extra bonus round. I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah. So I think Statcast metrics is a good way to bring in like a bigger audience, but they didn't incorporate that into their regular main broadcast.
Yeah.
You had to go to ESPN2 and hear people just be like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting there. That was a 500-foot home run there." Like it's no big deal. Like
yeah.
Like, do you even like baseball? Like
or in the last round, Pete Alonso versus Trey Mancini. Pete Alonso hit like 3 straight home runs to start the last round. And what's the guy's name? I really like his articles on MLB.com, and he was part of it. Oh my God. What's his name? I'm gonna find it. Hold on one sec.
Don't worry about it, man. Got all the time in the world.
Mike Petriello. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. He writes really amazing pieces. You can find them on Baseball Savant mostly, but it's for MLB.com. And I think it was him that was on the broadcast. But he was like, as soon as Pete Alonso hit those 2 home runs, he was like, "Oh, that's over. It's over now. Like Trey Mancini doesn't stand a chance here." But it turned out that Pete Alonso, it was tied by the end of the. They had to go on a walk. What do you call that? A bat off, a home run off,
a walk off,
whatever you call it,
a bat off or something. Did they
homer off? Didn't they?
That's what I mean.
No. Pete Alonso called timeout, and then when he came out of timeout, then he hit he proceeded to hit like 4 or 5 straight home runs or 6 straight home runs to win.
He ended it with like 5 straight home runs. It was beautiful. It was very entertaining. Pete Alonso,
but it was close. I mean,
no, bro. Trey Mancini from the first round. I mean, I don't know if you want to just get into the whole recap of the home run derby or how long you want to go into, but Trey Mancini, I thought he was gonna unfortunately leave in a stretcher because after that first round, he was shaking. I saw him shaking when he went to take a sip of that Gatorade. Yeah. By the way, MLB, like you guys waste so much Gatorade, like with these guys. I get it, but
I've been saying it for a long time, and I give Mookie Betts credit because I see him with reusable bottles in the dugout all the time. These guys waste so much plastic; it like breaks my heart.
Yeah,
I don't know why they don't have a deal with Yeti, or perhaps a Hydro Flask like the one I left in your house the last time I came to visit you. Just
a beautiful flask.
Sponsorship deal and just reuse your bottles, man. Let's save this planet, man.
Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it. Don't wait until somebody has to pass a law to make you do it. Get ahead of it. Lead the way. But we're not here to talk about reusable stuff. But no, Trey Mancini put on a show. But I did notice he was gassed. I noticed Ohtani was gassed. Actually, the only one I can't remember being completely gassed was like Matt Olson, Juan Soto. Was a little bit disappointed that Joey Gallo didn't advance. But Pete Alonso kind of brought the entertainment back into it by being so dominating, I guess. And I hope it transitions into the season because I think it would be nice to have Pete Alonso excel for the Mets. But let's talk about the man of the hour, Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, man. Rob Manfred, right?
This guy right here.
Oh, man. Look at that guy. Shohei Ohtani. What a handsome guy that guy is.
What an adorable guy, man. He was, you could tell he was like laughing at himself every time he hit like a ground ball or something.
Mm-hmm.
But for both Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto, I blame the pitchers, man. The guys that they got to throw them the baseball did not do their part. If you look at Pete Alonso's pitching coach or whoever he selected to throw him the baseballs, there's like that chart that shows all the balls were in the sweet spot, like right down the middle. They were almost coming, like he would throw them and they were almost like so slow they were dipping a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Perfect for Pete Alonso. Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani had to literally like pick and choose which balls, and at the end they just started swinging at everything. Shout out to Juan Soto for going 3 for 3 on the bat off or the home run off, whatever you said it was. But Shohei Ohtani just looked gassed. And I think it's going to cost him, man. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that before I mention.
So no, we've discussed this a little bit before that I think that he can handle it, man. He's a young stud. Can we get that picture again?
Yeah,
Any
man,
chance we get that picture again?
you.
Look at that guy. I mean, he's built like a machine, and he can probably go all night and all day long if necessary. But no, seriously, I think it's fine. I think he's fine, man. People have been doing this for decades, and it's only until very recently that we're so concerned about these guys overexerting themselves. Heaven forbid.
Hey, man, look, I only ever played baseball at the high school level and years past in independent leagues, which I pay for, which doesn't count for anything. But
more credit, man.
We only have one game a week, and I'm exhausted. The day of, the day after, I'm still sore, and I know I'm not in the best shape or conditioned to play baseball every day. But can these guys get a day off in between? I mean, they played Sunday. I'm not going to look it up because whatever, but I don't know the last time Shohei Ohtani had a day off. He pitched last week. He's been in the lineup almost every game, and no days off, plays Sunday, home run derby on Monday, and now he's pitching and batting leadoff today for the All-Star game. And I'm just concerned that he's going to blow himself out. Like I know he can play every day, but the home run derby, man, like you could tell these guys, even though it's just a home run derby and it doesn't mean anything, you can tell like when the clock is 30 seconds down or like 30 seconds left, they start swinging at everything and they're just trying to do their best to put the hardest swing on it. And I think that exhaustion plus the torque that they got to do with their bodies, like it's enough to tire someone out. But then again, like now he's pitching today, and he begged MLB to leave him in the lineup if he's relieved in the game, which is MLB rule change that they did specifically for him. And I don't know, man. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't make it in the second half.
So I think I could see your concern, and maybe baseball should go back to the old format, like back in the day where they got, I think it was in it like 10 pitches. You got 10 pitches, 10 outs, right? Home runs are home runs, of course. If it doesn't go for a home run, it's an out. So you're incentivizing guys to hit the ball for home runs as much as possible. Like Joey Gallo would have been done. Like,
yeah,
within the first 10 pitches, I don't think he had a single home run.
Yeah,
and then he found his swing. But you're right. But they overexert themselves because then they try to hit as many as they can before the time runs out.
There's essentially like no limit.
Yeah, and I think it's more entertaining. For us, it's more entertaining this way. But
the way it is today, yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of keeping these guys healthy and stuff, I think the only way to do it would be to limit the outs. I'll
tell you this. I don't
sorry to interrupt you, man. Or you do like they did back in the day. Like there was the famous Willie Mays versus Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Because for me, the home run derby was Juan Soto versus Shohei Ohtani. Like
that was a nice matchup. Yep.
The rest of the home run derby did not live up to that matchup. But of course, the Mancini Pete Alonso at the end was entertaining. But I think Ohtani Soto was way more entertaining. Why not do it like 9-inning games? Like it's a 9-inning game. Ohtani versus Soto, 3 outs per inning. Go for 9 innings. Whoever wins. That it was. If you YouTube it, you could see it. It's Mickey Mantle versus Willie Mays. You could watch the old school home run derby. But
I would
do something like that.
I would even be down to do it spread across the entire season. Like when Ohtani just so happens to be on the East Coast, meet up with Juan Soto. Let's just stick with those two because they were entertaining. But yeah, the way that they did it with that Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays, and then they were being interviewed in between at bats and stuff.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
think
exactly.
I would be okay if they just spread it out for the entire season and just have like a special every week or something, depending on
That'd be
where the
amazing.
team is at that time. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Shohei Ohtani never does a home run derby again because
Yeah, I don't know. He seems
I'm
to be wanting to enjoy this as much as possible.
yeah, if it's true that he begged MLB to change the rules for the All-Star game, then we're lucky to have him. Like honestly, I have thoughts about why Shohei Ohtani is so special in that aspect for begging MLB to let him do both and to let him keep hitting if he's taken out of the if he's relieved at any point in the game. But we'll save that for another time, Manny. I think we beat this home run derby horse enough.
I agree. But let's stick with Ohtani really quick because yesterday Stephen A. Smith made some
Forgot about that.
salacious, I don't know what the word is. Some not so nice comments about Shohei Ohtani and basically why it's bad for baseball that somebody that needs an interpreter is like the go-to star in the game. And you know, we live in a time now where if you listen to his entire statement, that may not have been the biggest takeaway from it. Like maybe that's not exactly what he meant, and you could infer from everything else that he was saying that that's not what he meant. But at the end of the day, we live in a world now where if you say something like that, that is what's gonna be picked out and dragged through the mud and put everywhere, and you're gonna be criticized, and he deserves to be. Stephen A. deserves to be criticized because for how many years have international players been dominating the sport? I mean, we could go back to Sammy Sosa back in 1990, in the 1990s, right? Like he literally lifted the sport up from the ground alongside with Mark McGwire with the home run chase of 1998. And you could go further back than that. You could go back to guys like, I don't know if you would consider Roberto Clemente an international player.
Of course. So Stephen A. Smith's comments, and I'll be honest, I told myself last night when we decided we would bring this up that I would find the full episode and just try to hear Stephen A. Smith out. And I'm pretty sure that what the clip that I saw on Twitter, which was just like the 20-second clip of him saying that it's not good, that this guy needs an interpreter. So I think he was saying more in the sense like the language barrier is what the issue is. I guess if I want to make that connection. So who knows? Roberto Clemente probably spoke well enough English where he didn't need an interpreter.
He did.
And I think Shohei Ohtani speaks decent enough English to answer layup questions, whatever. But it's irrelevant at this point. It's 2021. I don't care that he has an interpreter. I'm just in awe of Shohei Ohtani. I don't think it matters that he speaks English or not. First of all, baseball doesn't market their players as like, I feel like we have Mike Trout, speaks English. He's from this country. And what does that really get us? Like what does him speaking English? What has that really gotten us?
Right.
As fans, I feel like it wouldn't really make a difference. Shohei Ohtani is a once in a lifetime talent that I feel like it's just irrelevant whether he speaks English or not.
And to piggyback off of that, so I have two things to say. In response to that, he does speak English. We've heard him speak English at the ESPYs, I think in 2018. But he chooses to go through an interpreter, similar to guys like Gary Sanchez. There's somebody else who uses an interpreter. I think Ichiro, even though Ichiro spoke some English, used an interpreter. Things get lost in translation. These guys feel more comfortable in their native languages. They don't want things to be misconstrued or say something wrong. So I don't begrudge him wanting to use a translator. Go for it. It's a service that's provided to you. You should use it. That's A. B, why not? Who cares if this guy doesn't speak English? This guy's willing to he's going to the All-Star break, to the All-Star game because he's the best player in baseball right now. He's participating in the home run derby. He's going to pitch and he's going to hit. How many star players? You just mentioned Mike Trout. How many times has Mike Trout done the home run derby? And that's not to say that he should be doing it, but we always criticize Mike Trout because he's not a good ambassador for the game. Like he's not out there promoting the game constantly. His face isn't out there. He's not like on social media. Well, here you have a guy who's willing to do that.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, good job, Shohei Ohtani, look at this, we have a superstar in the game who's embracing all of this and going for it. Instead of saying that, we're saying, he doesn't speak English. We have to tell what, like, this is embarrassing. Blah, blah, blah. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, bro. And you made a good point. Like, take a step back and realize what is he, 25? 26?
Yeah, he's young, 25, 26.
Bro, this guy is not from here. He's from the other side of the globe, and he's playing for Los Angeles in a team with the best player of this generation, Mike Trout. It's not like Shohei Ohtani went to Milwaukee or like Tampa Bay or somewhere, some small market. He's in Los Angeles, and he's stepping up to the task of what we think he should be. And like he said, man, he's in the home run derby. This is a odd comparison, but LeBron James never did the dunk contest. Right. I'm pretty sure the dunk contest could have benefited from LeBron James participating in it. You know? So I guess my final point on that Stephen A thing is that we're spoiled, clearly, as fans. That's even brought up for Ohtani. We're looking at the second coming of Babe Ruth. Better than advertised, in my opinion. I didn't expect Ohtani to be putting on this type of season at the midway point. And I'm not gonna think different if he falls off in the second half, because I know it's not because of lack of talent. It's probably just he's human. I think he's doing everything he can to build up what he is like. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's funny. I feel like depending on where those comments would have came from, that would have been what's happening on Twitter. Instead, it was probably trending just for you and me because we follow these topics. But depending on who said those comments, it probably would have been like one of the top 5 what's happening links or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. And you know, I don't want to say credit to Stephen A, but I want to acknowledge that he did apologize. Like, he keeps apologizing. They were talking about it this morning on First Take. I think Jeff Passan is on there talking about it. So let's use this as an opportunity not to cancel Stephen A. Smith, but to embrace the conversation and move on from it. And let's not let it happen again. Like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see like somebody says something that's wrong. Clearly it's wrong. But I believe him when he says that he regrets making those comments, that he knows that they were wrong. So let's move on from it now.
I'm just gonna say this one last thing. Do you remember watching the Last Dance documentary with the Jordan and Bulls and stuff, and that one clip where Ichiro shows up to meet Jordan, but Jordan didn't know who he was? Now look how big of a star Ichiro Suzuki was to baseball. And he went out of his way to go see Jordan in person.
Right.
And even though Jordan didn't know who he was, whatever, they high-fived, hugged, took a picture, whatever. But just look at Jordan, right? Biggest basketball star. And Ichiro going out of his way to go see Jordan. Fast forward to 2021, one of basketball's biggest stars, Kevin Durant, goes to Yankee Stadium to see Shohei Ohtani play. Like, see how irrelevant that is? Like, you see how big Ohtani is, where it doesn't even really matter to me, at least as a fan. It's just like I'm in awe of Ohtani, and I don't need more. I don't need him to speak English, is what I'm saying.
No. What difference does it make? Like,
at
for
this
what
point,
reason?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a difference. What he's doing on the field is mind-boggling, man. And I don't know, man. We had him as our pick for MVP to start the year. And so far, that pick's looking good, man.
I like it.
But from one controversy to another, but within the same division, we go from Los Angeles down to Houston, where the Houston Astros this past weekend, after, within 3 outs of getting swept by the New York Yankees, losing 5-2, I think, 7-2, excuse me, they come back, and who hits a walk-off home run? None other than the one and only Jose, 5'6", Altuve.
Turn your camera off for me real quick, Manny.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. How do you do this again? Stop gram. There it is.
Look at him, man.
Let's look at that.
Look at that canvas. The canvas. Look at that man's torso. It's a canvas for a tattoo that we finally got to see, Manny. Well, almost. So, want to recap real quick. One of our best performing videos on YouTube is a take that we had on Jose Altuve, based off of what started this whole back and forth between the Yankees and Astros over the weekend. So, long story short, Astros got caught red-handed cheating. Jose Altuve, before we found out they got caught red-handed cheating, Jose Altuve hits a walk-off Game 7 home run in Houston against Aroldis Chapman, and the infamous he didn't want his
shirt. Game 6. Wasn't it Game 6?
Game 6?
I believe so.
Only reason I'm saying Game 7 is because I think the Astros were ranked ahead of the Yankees that year because they won like 102 games, I think.
Maybe. I think the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken, the Yankees were fighting for a Game 7. I might be wrong though, man. I shouldn't have interrupted you. I'm really sorry. Game 6.
Regardless, Game 6. Thank you for correcting me, Manny. So he's that infamous don't take my jersey off, whatever. We didn't really we didn't really think much of it. They couple months after we find out they were cheating. 2017, which they won the World Series. They didn't win it in 2019. That became like a whole story in itself. People thought he was wearing a buzzer under his shirt, and that was like the advanced version of what they were doing in 2017, knowing if pitches were coming down, what pitches were being thrown by the pitcher before they were thrown. And then they go through their whole thing. They don't get punished by MLB. To just get to the point, Manny, finally, Aaron Judge was vocal about the whole Astros thing. He lost the MVP to Jose Altuve in 2017, even though he won the Rookie of the Year. He was always vocal about it. And then Aaron Judge hits a home run in game 1 of the series. Now we're talking about this past weekend.
He did Game 2.
Game 2.
It was the Cole game. It was the only run of the game.
That was amazing, by the way. Beautiful performance by Garrett Cole, man. See, I could call like I see it. I thought that was amazing. I love it.
Why wouldn't you call it like you see it, man? It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, man. It's just, sometimes my words get taken out of context and you might think something else. But anyways, I'm dragging this on long enough. Aaron Judge gives him a little tug of the jersey before he gets to third, finishes it off. Comments after the game were like, "Oh, it was a little chilly in there when they closed the roof. It's a little chilly in there." Going back to get the last game of the series, like you said, they were avoiding getting swept. They hadn't scored a run the entire series, and then Maldonado, right? Was it him?
Yeah.
Hits a home run, pulls down his shirt, shows his left breast to the world, and he's like, "What, son? I got a tattoo here. What's up, Yankees?" Then Gary Sanchez hits. So, by the way, this whole time I'm thinking this is so corny. These guys are millionaires playing a kid's game, acting like children. And then Gary Sanchez hits a home run, and he backs up Aaron Judge, saying that it's kind of chilly. They put a Yankees jacket over him. He's like, "Oh, it's kind of cold in here, whatever." And then, like you said, man, Jose Altuve hits the walk-off home run to cap off a 6-inning, 9th inning, I think it was. And he strips, man. We finally get to see his shirt. We finally get to see what he was hiding in 2019. Any comments on that before we?
Yeah. In all his glory, man. And a lot of things have been said. Who thinks about a tattoo when you hit the biggest walk-off home run of your life in Game 6 of the ALCS in 2019? Who thinks about removing their shirt? Like, who cares what's gonna happen? You're celebrating. You're basking in the glory that is that home run that you just hit.
Yeah.
And people are saying, "Oh, he didn't want to participate in 2017, but then in 2019, was he participating with the buzzer? Was there a buzzer?" Some people speculate that something was definitely going on, but we don't know exactly what it was. That Brian McTaggart book that just came out talks about how there was a light thing going on in the scoreboard, and the Yankees complained about it. Once they did, it stopped. Like, there was a lot of different methods of cheating, which, by the way, I'm stating it here for the record. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure every team probably did something because baseball decided, let me put this replay room within, a few steps of the dugout. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? If you're not, what is that saying? If you
you're
ain't
not cheating, you're
cheating,
not trying, or
you're
something.
not trying. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. So I don't know, man. But here's what we do have, guys. We got an inside scoop recently. And this stays between us. I know that this has gone live on all the Our Esquina networks, but don't tell anybody. But we got an image of Jose Altuve's tattoo that he was so embarrassed about. Do you want to tell us what this first one is here, Luis?
Yeah, guys, we got a few ideas of what that tattoo. I couldn't see the tattoo when I watched the game live. It was kind of blurry, but we got some possible ideas of what that tattoo could have said. Manny, if you would be so kind to.
All right, let's see. What could it possibly say? Place buzzer here. Yes, that's right. So turns out when they ripped off his clothes, we found out that they were cheating in 2019. It turns out he got it tattooed because they would forget where to place the buzzer. He said, "Place buzzer here" on the tattoo. There it is, guys.
This is breaking news, man. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy. But we got some other possible tattoo art that he could have had. Let me know when I can bring another one up.
You go ahead, man. Whenever you're ready, bruh.
What do you think of this one?
If you're reading this, you're too close.
It might as well be. I mean, look at the picture on the left. Like, that's what we were given. What I mean, I see, like, I feel like I see a pizza there. I don't know. What do you think?
A pizza?
Yeah, like right there, a little bit, like next to his shoulder. Looks like a little triangle blemish or something, like some pepperoni.
I have a theory here, guys. I'm gonna remove this image really quick.
Okay.
I have a theory because if you watch the home run and like the pictures of the tattoo, there's like red marks all around it and stuff like you're talking about. Is it possible that this is just fixed and like they told, hey, Altuve, you're gonna hit a walk off on Sunday. Make sure you put that tattoo on your chest. And he's like, okay, man, I got you. You ready for the next one?
Nah, I'm thinking like a bunch of fans and his support reached out like, hey, listen, man, if you ever need a tattoo for free, like I got the perfect one to. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, is what I got your back, man, free of charge. You ready for the next one?
Let's see it. Break it down for us, guys. I mean, Luis.
I love New York. Plain and simple. This accounts for a little redness that we see from a distance. It's nice and short. It's a common slogan for tourists everywhere. Mm-hmm. New York is a great city, but he didn't want the world to see this because of the whole beef going back with the New York Yankees, man. So
what's up with the two dashes underneath there, man?
Oh, I really couldn't. Just laziness, pure laziness, just to underline the love of New York. No, I really to avoid having two text boxes, I had to put that there to fit the star.
Gotcha. So Altuve is a Yankees fan in real life, huh?
He might be.
Do we have any more we want to share?
Yeah, man. We got a few more. We can start picking this up a little bit. You can share the next one, Manny.
Here's the next one. Correa was here.
Hey, man, no one went to bat harder for Jose Altuve's innocence than Carlos Correa. So wouldn't be shocked if that bromance is actually a romance. And his wife, Jose Altuve's wife, was like, "No, you're not revealing this to the world."
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So that maybe that proposal in 2017 was really for Altuve, but Correa's girlfriend happened to walk by. He's like, as he was getting down on one knee. I don't know, man. I'm losing myself here.
Here you go, man. Share the next one.
Aaron Judge is my favorite player. That's right, guys.
Checks out. He's a popular player. Top 10 in jersey sales every year. Jose Altuve probably puts on an Aaron Judge jersey and just imagines like, if only I was 6'10" or
Yeah.
whatever Aaron Judge is
Rumor had it that it really said Aaron Judge is the real 2017 MVP, but it
also
was too many
valid.
words.
Also valid.
Oh,
All right.
wait. Too soon, man.
Too
You didn't let
soon.
me
Here we
escape
go.
the screen first.
Whoops. Let me see. Not this one. Not this one. Are you seeing these?
No, I can't see you.
All right, go ahead.
Baseball keeps the wife away.
Again, his wife embarrassed by this tattoo. Jose Altuve shows up after winning the MVP, feels like he's the man. He's like, you know what? This is the only time I'm not at home with you when I'm playing baseball. Baseball keeps the wife away.
It's like a t-shirt. You should make that into a t-shirt, man.
Nah, man, because we know wives that like baseball.
I love my wife.
Good one, man. Here's another one in relation to his wife.
Property of Mrs. Altuve.
What do you think, man? Valid?
Well done, man. Yeah,
All
apparently she's controlling when he can and cannot take off his shirt. Then
we got two more over here that we're just gonna quickly go over, and I hope you guys see where I was coming from. What do you think of this one, man?
Juicy Queen? I don't get it.
Me neither, man. But why else would he hide a tattoo? Like, that's odd, right? Like, if you saw Jose Altuve with a Juicy Queen heart tattoo, like that's pretty odd. Like, I don't.
Oh my god, this is great.
Here's the last one that I got.
All right,
you ready for this one?
Man. I'm ready.
All right, what do you think of this one?
Pull my hair. What the fuck?
All right, that was a little fun right there at the end. I don't know what I meant by that, but clearly not something he wants, the world to see. All eyes on him after he hits a home run in 20. So again, this is me just thinking like 2019. He didn't want people to see this. 2021, we're in a different place as a country right now. Maybe this is acceptable. After what Trevor Bauer pulled this past 2 weeks,
So do you think his wife was like, Altuve, si tú das un jonrón en esta serie, deje que te quite la camisa ya. Like, was she just like, go ahead, man, just let him take off your shirt. If you hit a walk-off this series, go ahead, just go for it.
I'm still under the belief that he had this tattoo done prior to the series, like fresh. He's like, oh crap, I forgot. I said that a couple years ago,
Yeah, I have a feeling that maybe he did it when all of it broke down and people started saying like maybe there was a buzzer. Because for Altuve's, he's well endowed, and I'm not talking about downstairs. I'm talking about like he's got some money in his pockets. You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah,
guys got the paper. You know what I mean? What person with that much money gets a tattoo in 2019? Because apparently that's when he got it. And it looks like that. Like you don't just go to like the random tattoo shop in freaking like East Bumblefuck, USA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another possible explanation, his wife actually did the tattoo for him. That was her first attempt at doing a tattoo, and she was embarrassed at how crappy and tacky it looks, and that could also been it.
Or Jose Altuve was in jail and we didn't know about it, and he thought he was going to be there for much longer and got a prison tattoo.
So listen, I just want to say that I don't hate Jose Altuve. I do think the whole back and forth between the Yankees and Astros was super corny and so unnecessary. I don't know. I feel like it's already been 2 years of that incident and 4 years since the trash can banging incident. But I also want to acknowledge that Altuve is actually having a really good season, and so are the Astros, and they're not going away anytime soon. So even if some players like Carlos Correa end up on another team, just know that like that whole thing is going to linger on for probably the next decade because these guys aren't going anywhere, and that I guess people need to start getting over it. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm with you, man. And I'm actually, all jokes aside, I'm actually really happy for Altuve that he's having a better season this year. It's not like a traditional Altuve season, but it's a really good season for him.
It is.
So I'm happy for him. And listen, man, I know people are going to come down on me, but I didn't have the Astros ranked this high. It's kind of good to see that they are gritty. Dusty Baker's like really holding this team together.
Yeah.
Good job, Astros.
The baseball needs the bad guys, and they're providing
right.
us with that type of entertainment. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope they make it to the playoffs because it'll be more entertaining with them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'd take the Angels over them. Actually, I take that back. Get Ohtani to the playoffs.
Let's have them both, man. We have 2 wild cards.
That's true.
Both. Let's get them both with an F.
That's true.
Let's just get the A's out of there somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but all right. I think that's all for today, guys. If you watched on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever else this was streaming, thanks for checking us out. If you're going to listen on the podcast, make sure you search for Bodega Baseball anywhere you get your pods, and on YouTube. We should be the first one to pop up. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Follow me at MannyGo3. Follow that beautiful face over there at Hova Mojo. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Hey.